Well, welcome everybody to episode 3 of the 20th anniversary Cornelius Core story. Today we are with Mike and June Beyer of Falls Church, Virginia. Mike, best known as Jim's long-term tennis partner, and involved in the car business for some years in Northern Virginia. And June, proud grandmother of 12 people. That's right. And also kind of bringing to the Falls Church area June Beyer art to express her creative endeavors. So welcome to both of you. And Mike and June were early on in the formation of the Cornelius Core. So if you wouldn't mind, just tell a little bit about your early involvement and what you've seen happen with the Cornelius Core throughout its first 20 years.
I'll start with when we first heard about the Cornelius Core. It was at ground zero, Jim's first announcement to his church, Christ Crossman, where we were members, and he was our pastor for many years. This is 2001. And after church one Sunday, he gathered those who were interested to hear his message about his new calling back in the chapel. And we were surprised at the reaction by a lot of the congregants. It wasn't of support and love, but they were like, "What are you doing? You got a great job hearing your minister." But we heard Jim's heartfelt need to take and hear this call from God to go build that bridge from the inner city to the white privileged suburbs. But we looked at it and we were sold right then and there. He had us hook, line, and sinker day one.
Yes.
A famous movie line, "You had me at hello."
Well, we lived next door to Jim and Vicky, so we knew them. They were our next door neighbors. And we just trusted and loved and learned a lot from Jim and Vicky.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
As you reflect back over, you watched now the Cornelius Core for 20 years. What stood out to you about the core itself over this time?
Yeah, well, Jim pointed out to us about the racial injustice and the race war that has been going on for a long, long time, and that it needed to be addressed in a new and different way. And he did approach it in a different way, trying to bring the two communities together, again, crossing that bridge, which he did. He brought quite a few people from the city of DC into Christ Crossman and integrated them into our Sunday services.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And it was powerful.
Wow.
And I taught Sunday school to a little group of children, twins that were mixed race with their cousin who was Caucasian, little girls. I didn't realize that they were cousins at first, but I have stayed in touch with those children. And we just knew it was something really special was happening. We had no idea that 20 years later, we would be in great need of Cornelius Core in our country.
It is the timing, right?
Yes.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
Jim's got to keep working hard at this, and we know he is. So.
That's for sure.
Yes.
As you look back on your engagement, varying all different ways, I'm sort of aware, but I probably don't know all of them. How has your involvement in the Cornelius Core been transformative in your lives?
I'll let you start with that one, dear.
I would say, thank you. Yeah, I would say the people that we've met, because over the 20 years, we have held fundraisers, diversity dinners. And so we've been able to meet so many wonderful people who also pray for harmony, not only in Falls Church City, where we were all together, but in our Old Dominion and in our country and world. So I would say not only does Jesus transform lives, which was a message we heard a lot from Pastor Jim at Crossman, but Jim also is being used to change lives. And Vicky and Katie and Christy Melson, our children grew up together. So I know that will continue. And as well, Mike and I have 12 grandchildren, 4 grandchildren are mixed race.
Mhm.
So we have our African-American son-in-law, and we learn a lot from him, so we didn't realize that back in 2001.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Changed their lives too.
Absolutely.
Cornelius Core, our
Mhm.
children.
They have. They've been involved in those fundraisers too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Fundraisers were great because they brought people from all walks of life together. And Jim would always start off these fundraisers with a message about the Cornelius Core and what he's trying to accomplish.
Mhm.
And those were powerful too. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody learned a lot, and they embrace his message. And
Mhm.
we're going to do another fundraiser this year too, coming up in just a couple of weeks. And
Mhm.
we
Oh,
were
good.
excited about that too.
I
Yeah,
know I think we have a meeting about coming up this next week anyway, so I'll learn more
Yeah.
about that.
Yes.
you will.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's fun to bring all these different people together and to hear again Jim's message is really good.
Mhm.
They need to hear it.
Right. So let me follow up, because your extended family is right in the middle of all this. It's not just a theory or a doctrine or anything to you. What have you guys learned from uh, the mixed race people within your own family about Jesus or about this issue we're currently dealing with? What have you learned from them?
Well, we've learned that our next generation and the next generation are strong. They have a very strong faith. They lead with love, and they are quite vocal. In fact, our little granddaughter, who was at Thomas Jefferson Elementary School in second grade, said, "I can't go to this school. Thomas Jefferson held slaves, and I don't think I want to go to a school named Thomas Jefferson." Now, you might know that we have changed that to Oak Street Elementary, and the George Mason High School is now Meridian High School.
I did not know this.
Yes, we have changed the names, and
Yeah.
people were not happy in the city of Falls Church, which is
Right.
a very liberal, progressive area, and where Jim's church was. And so, we know that they will continue to lead
Wow.
with Christian faith and love. And we're so grateful for Jim and Vicky's mission, because together they are just a team of gentle, caring, and loving people.
Absolutely.
And that just passes on.
Wow.
That's just, yes. So we know there will be Cornelius Core.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned too, with having our mixed race grandchildren, is that we all are created in God's image, every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't see them as African American or mixed race. They're our grandchildren. They're people just like us. And you got to love everybody that same way.
Mm-hmm. But they do face a harder road.
Yes,
Right.
They have, even in our area, they have experienced racism. They have heard the N-word.
Mhm.
They have wept, but they will also stand tall, and they together are quite strong, those six. We just had a new grandson this year in their family. So, and all of the children, it's impacted everyone, all of our grandchildren.
Right.
They're loved and they're strong. I'm amazed by the faith of the African American community.
Right.
When I hear our son-in-law speak of sort of taking the high road and how to live, with kindness, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kindness and love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a beautiful testimony, and thank you for that insight.
Thank you.
And I don't think everybody really understands that, or until you can hear it from true experience. And you guys have lived it, and you've been, I know, a tremendous supporter of Jim's since day one, and been a rock he's been able to lean on. And I know it's been mutual too, not just one way.
Absolutely.
So
Jim and Vicky been a huge support to us.
Yes. Oh yes, through so many wonderful times and also challenges. They have always been there in prayer, and truly, Jim and Vicky are Cornelius Core. They just
Right.
the way they care about everyone is, we've just been really fortunate to have them really as family. We feel that they are the Beyer family too, and we're just very grateful and look forward to what's next, because they're
Absolutely.
always changing and growing and bringing new people in. And so it's been an exciting 20. Well, we lived next door to them for 30 years. So, I just 30 years ago. So yeah.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for your time tonight. Thank you for your testimony, and look forward to seeing this in the air, and appreciate you most so much.
Thank you for doing these interviews,
Thanks,
Tom.
Tom. Yes.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.